Hi guys, welcome to the first ever meetup of the Content Collective. I have been probably sending you a lot of emails talking about it and trying to tell you or encourage you to join and come for this meetup. Uh, but I feel that there is, it is the it is something that was needed, and I'll tell you why in the as we move ahead. But before I start, I always like to do the temperature check of the room just to see the virtual room now to see how you guys are doing. So Bhumika will show a poll now. So on the bottom right hand side, you will see a poll that will pop up. So just take that poll. We would like to know how you're feeling. So I'll show you the results to I'll show the results to everyone so that you're able to see what the room is like. Okay, there's one super awesome and one okay. Uh, I'm feeling super awesome. Unfortunately, Google doesn't allow the moderators to take the poll. So I'm going to say that I'm feeling super awesome. Okay, I don't know about Bhumika, but I'm very excited about this first meetup because I'm excited as well as anxious because I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty positive about it. So that's what's making me feel awesome. So with that done, let's move ahead. And we wanted to break the ice because some of us are meeting for the first time. I know some of you from before, but we'll play a short game, and I'll hand it over to Bhumika to explain the rules. Very simple, nothing much that you will have to do. Hopefully, you'll have some fun, and hopefully, we'll get to know each other a little better after this game. So, Bhumika, over to you.
Yeah. So it's a
I'm
small
controlling the slide, so let me know when you need me to move ahead.
yeah. You can change the slide now. So yeah, this is a small game. I think like it's pretty common. It's called this or that. So the rules are there are three, like just a basic rule. So you'll be given two options and you have to pick one of them. Then you have to share like what made you choose that. So hopefully we'll find out something that's common with all of us or some of us. So it's basically to start building, like get to know each other.
Yeah,
So
maybe we can do one. Maybe we can. Is there going to be a winner, or we just going to get to know each other? Just an icebreaker.
mm, how I mean I don't know how can we decide a winner from this.
uh, okay, okay. So maybe we'll do one trial. So has everyone got the rules? Just unmute or chat and say we'll do this as a trial.
You can use your mics or you can use the chat box. Like, let me know how you wanna.
So I'd be choosing a small town over a city because I just like the comfortability and the familiarity of a small town more. You're a lot more anonymous in a big city.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks
I'd
for
be
that.
choosing a small town over a city too because it's greener and I actually do come from a small town, so it's homely.
Okay, cool.
I would also be choosing a small town because it makes me feel alive. Basically, like you have your own thing to do and you don't have people that's bothering you, right? So basically, that's why I chose the small town.
Nice.
Okay.
Ruben, would you like to share your?
Yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately, even I would choose a small town. Although I'm living in a big city, Bangalore, but I prefer a small town. I was grown up in a relatively small town called Pune. So at least when I was growing up, it was relatively small. Now it's not, but I would choose small town over a city.
Uh, Me as well. So I think we're all sharing the same thing here.
Okay, so we're all small towners.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's move on to the next.
Next one. Yeah. So who'd like to go first?
I mean, I'd like to be an early bird, but unfortunately, I'm a night owl. I do not have a regular sleep schedule. I go to sleep at sometimes at at 2 o'clock in the night or whatever, and then get up at like 8 or 9, and then go to sleep for another 3 hours in the day. So yeah, I'm a night owl. Like, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I am also a night owl, and on my good days, I tend to be an early bird, but that's very rare. So I think I'll go with night owl too.
Okay.
I am more of an early bird. I feel very, very sleepy by 10:30, 11. I don't know if it's my age or if it is generally the time of day, but yeah, I prefer being not, I wouldn't say at the crack of dawn, but at least earlier in the day.
Okay. What about Pranoy?
Yeah, I'm also a night owl because that's where I am most productive, I feel. Most of the times during the day I don't give time also, but all the productivity comes out at night, basically. That's
Nice. So I'd like to be an early bird, but I end up being a night owl.
Okay, cool. So I guess I'm the only
Early bird guy.
anomaly.
Yeah, this is the most dividing one I feel. So
Tea for sure. Tea over coffee any day.
why.
Uh,
Chai for me as well.
I absolutely despise tea. I take coffee any single day
How
because
dare you, Prahlad?
it actually
Prahlad, despise is a very strong word.
Yeah, that's why you don't have any friends, Prahlad, because you
Yeah,
don't like
Prahlad.
tea.
yeah. Apart from the two I have right now in this meeting.
Yeah, yeah. So the other, so I'm actually a mix of both. So in the morning, I prefer coffee. In the evening, tea. So I'm somewhere in the middle.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I keep switching between chai and coffee, but filter coffee appeals me anytime. So heading to the next one. Yeah, beach or mountains.
I've grown up around beaches. I generally like beaches. I'm from the coastal area, but I just haven't been to mountains enough. So that's why I'd really love to be there, like sometime or so. So I'm gonna choose mountains.
Okay.
I
Same
have
goes with
been
me.
to.
No,
Okay,
no,
go
no, go
ahead.
ahead, Akshat. No, no, you go ahead, Akshat.
Okay.
That's fine.
I have been to a lot of mountains and I study in a mountain, in a hilly area is what I wanted to say. So I'd go for beaches. Beaches are much calmer and you can enjoy sunsets.
okay. I prefer mountains mainly because I find them more easy. I mean, it's you can explore a mountain. A sea is difficult too, or a beach is only that much you can explore. A mountain, I feel, is a lot more. And I've done a few treks, so I like to be walking and just exploring the mountains.
Okay. Pranoy has, I think, left.
I'm pretty sure his data gave out on him. It's a regular occurrence. Yeah.
I'll probably join back.
Okay. I think I can guess that he'd choose beach. Let's see what he has to say when he comes back.
Oh no. He said he would choose the mountains for like the same reason as me because he's lived in a
Yeah,
coastal.
yeah.
Not okay. Cool. Okay. Vada pav or sandwich?
Vada pav because I've never had one in my entire life.
What?
What are you saying?
Yeah, dude, I
Wow.
haven't.
Wow. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, During my early years, I would say sandwich because I just did not have any tolerance to spices when I would say, I don't know, 12, 13. But now I really like spicy foods a lot, so it would be vada pav.
Okay, I mean, I totally binge on vada pav. I've actually, there was a time when I was growing up where we used to measure our wealth in terms of how many vada pavs we could buy. And at some point, it used to cost what, 2 rupees 50 paisa. Now I think it's like an obscene 40 or 50 rupees, which is, yeah, so it brings down my wealth quite a bit. But yeah, I would choose vada pav.
I would choose vada pav as well.
Okay, cool.
So the the next bit about the content collective. Ruben is going to talk about it. Handing over to you, Ruben.
Thanks, Bhumika. Thanks for the game. It was fun, getting to know about each other. I think we have quite a few common points amongst us, so that was a good icebreaker. So I wanted to spend some time explaining about the collective before I start asking you and start picking your brains on what we can do. So the idea for the collective came from the fact that I started this new company, and I'll start with telling you about myself. So I've been working in a corporate for about 15 odd years, doing different types of marketing and communications roles, and working very closely with different types of content. So I have done my my postgraduate graduation in journalism, where I was the content person in Tata Consultancy Services in my first job, and then I moved out, did my master's in communication, came back again, was doing a role which needed a lot of content, interacted with a lot of people who work with in different types of marketing, branding, and communication strategy. But at the end of the day, it all came down to the content. So I consider myself, even though I have experience in a wide range of things, I consider myself at the core a content creator and a content person, and that is my core skill. I have built everything else around this particular core skill. So being able to tell a story, or to simplify a thought, or even create something new, I think that is my core strength, and which is why I wanted to first share that with all of you, so that we understand that is something that is at the core of who I am, and which is why I wanted to do something that would help the particular community, or these people who are so much involved with content. And today, if you see, at least I felt that content creators were not getting their due. There's obviously a gap, which I'll talk about as we move forward. But there was a sort of a misunderstanding, especially in today's day and age, what content or good content really is. And I wanted to sort of give back in a way where I can share my own experiences and maybe help others, and I also needed help in my own work, in my own company, to build new content. But in a way, the main reason for doing something like this, like the collective, was to help and to be able to provide as much support as I can to other content creators. So, as I was saying, that content is currently at the center of everything that you do, everything that we have in terms of marketing, branding, and communication. Every platform that you have, right from your social media to your community-based platforms to your, even your research-based platforms, require content. And content is king was actually a term that was phrased by Bill Gates way back in the 90s, I think at the start of the internet, and when the internet was at its early stages. And if you go back and read that essay, which was written almost 25, 30 years back, he talks about how content is going to become the fuel, or the core of everything that is happening on the internet. And he says that anybody or anyone who can master this particular space, or get control of the content and the data, either through user-generated content or through being able to create yourself the great content, you would be able to make a lot of money, as well as do a lot of different things if you have control of the content. And because content is king, and we are seeing it in every platform that we're using today, that makes people like us very, very important. And that's why I said we are king makers or queen makers, because it's a role that we should take seriously. It's a role that we should consider as important, and it's something that we should be proud of, and something that we should, when we are especially pitching or talking about the kind of work that we are doing, we should be able to say that yes, we are doing something that is really adding value. Okay. And whatever it is, whatever type of content, and content is so vast that you could be doing anything and adding value. So one fundamental issue that while content is important, there is also a clear gap or misunderstanding of what really good content is. People know that it is it's the need for every marketing or branding or communications campaign, but everyone does not necessarily know what that particular content can do for them, as well as they do not understand that sometimes it takes a little bit of it takes effort, it takes a lot of nurturing, it takes a lot of understanding of the target audience, it takes a lot of understanding of the craft in order to build great content. And what happens is that you get two ends of the spectrum. You get one set of people who understand it and who are willing to invest in it in terms of time, money, and effort, whereas you get the other end who are more focused on the quick wins and the wanting to cut corners and do everything quickly and just do it to hack the system. Like you do a lot of SEO and a lot of things like that. Not to say that anything is wrong or incorrect, but there needs to be a balance, and there needs to be some bit of understanding even with the content people, the people who are creating the content, that this difference exists. Okay, and that is why, and that is one big gap that is there even with content creators. They don't necessarily understand the marketing objective. They don't understand the reason why that content is created, and very often they don't have a space to really exchange ideas or talk to each other to understand what each of those. So while there are plenty of blogs, plenty of videos available, it's not clear to most people, because most of it ends up being just jargon, or ends up being stuff that is written from a marketing perspective without actually being something that is for a learning perspective or an experience sharing perspective. So I felt that there is no space like this, and especially in the pandemic time, the last 1.5 years or so, if say a content person was working in an ad agency or in a large marketing setup, they would interact with their colleagues, they would interact with their bosses, they would interact with and bounce off ideas, understand and learn from each other or from others in the industry. There would be industry events and there would be interactions there. But currently there is no space like that. There is no forum where we can just come together and say that, okay, listen, I'm doing this, or listen, there's some great content that is being created. Why don't we, have you seen it? Or just generally sharing thoughts and ideas, which is why I thought we should have something like the Content Collective. Now, what is the Content Collective? Now, you may have read the blog, you may have read the page, and you probably are still confused about it. So I'll pause here and I'll ask maybe Prahlad or anyone else who can just tell me what is it that you understood from what you've read or what you've seen of the Content Collective, and then.
Okay, so basically for me, I'd say the Content Collective is just basically a culmination of people and their ideas and just getting together and finding out the best way to plan out and figure out articles and writing not articles, content in general. And because this is an entire collective, you would have people supporting you and helping you understand what to do at every step of the way. So you wouldn't feel lost while you're trying to make content of your own.
Okay. Prahlad, Akshita. Sorry, Pranoy, Akshita. Prahlad just spoke. Anything that you understand from what you've read and what you've seen? Nothing.
Just that it's a group of people. I keep talking over you. I'm so sorry.
No,
No,
no worries.
that's fine. That's fine. You go ahead. I'll speak.
What I understood was that it's a group of people who have come together to support each other and to, I guess, make content creation easier and more, what shall I say, fulfilling. And so
Okay.
that and I feel like there's an incentive to work here, which is a pretty big deal for me. So
Okay.
that is what my point is. Yeah. So now you can go ahead.
Yeah, what I feel is basically we all have thoughts and ideas, right? So they're in their own form of maturity. So with the content collective, I feel that through ideation, through talking, you can uh, take that idea and you can make the best out of it. That's what I believe the content collective stands for.
Okay. Uh, so great. Thanks. I mean, I think you guys have sort of, I mean, in your own words, said what the collective is. It's not about work. It's not about the content per se. It's about uh, the individuals who are part of this. So Akshita, Pranay, Prahlad. It's about coming together and sharing, ideas and thoughts and saying that okay, there is something that I'm working on. Can we, collaborate on it? Or say, for example, you come up across a great article and you want to talk about it or share about it, or a video that you've come across, or a great learning course or a certification that you think is great. Or you may have questions. Sometimes I remember a few days back, Pranay getting in touch with me saying that, listen, do you know anybody in the radio industry? So I just connected him to somebody who I know. So it's about that. It's about networking. It's about uh, helping each other. It's about bringing uh, the the whole help. The whole ecosystem is scattered at the moment. So it's about bringing that to a place where we are all working for a collective good rather than just in our own worlds and in our own silos. So the purpose that I have set for the collective is that it needs to improve the entire ecosystem. So right from the content, the content creators to even the maybe the clients and the people who are looking for it. So maybe at some point in time we may open this out to other, to people or marketers who are looking for great content, okay, or looking to improve their understanding of content or content creators and the problems that they may face, and to learn from each other. So the goal of the collective is to create a space where, in short, content creators can interact, learn, and share from each other. So interaction in a way where people are talking to each other and engaging with each other, learning where we are learning through experiences, learning through each other's knowledge, and we can figure out how to do that. It's about sharing ideas, thoughts, and different types of things that you may feel are useful to others in the collective. Okay, so I've said I said space, I think once here and once here. So I wanted to clarify what we mean by space. And space is, so when I created, or when I thought of things coming up with the collective, a challenge that I had was what do we when I say space, what do we really mean? Do we create a social media group? Do I create a WhatsApp group? Do I create a email newsletter? Or do I just do these these regular meetups that are happening like this one, and when we bring in some people to talk about the content and the challenges that are faced by content people? So what is it? So I'm asking you. I don't have the answer for this. I don't have the 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 way forward really for this. So I'm asking you again through a poll. Bhumika will be making a poll live as to what exactly would you want from as a space. Would you prefer it being a meetup like this? Would you prefer it being like a WhatsApp group or a Slack group? Would you prefer emails and newsletters on regular updates on what's happening in the community or in the content in general? Or just a social media group, which again becomes a closed social media group? Or is there anything else that you think that we can do? So since it's a small group, maybe we can I can encourage you to just unmute and share your thoughts on what you think we can do.
Ruben, I think that it could be like a culmination of all these aspects that you're talking about. So obviously, live meetups like this are the best place for us to put ideas back and forth, discuss things, and talk about stuff. But also like being updated about the industry through the newsletter, that would be a good idea as well, because we'll have our own things to do, and like we won't be able to read through or come across these things. So maybe that also is an additional thing that can be.
Okay.
I agree with Pranoy. I'd say live meetups are probably the best ways to, bring out, like, based on the volume of ideas that you get across in like one live meetup, I'd say live meetups are the best among these. But based on my experience, like, writing for a website and stuff, I'd say chat groups like Workplace, they actually were, I'd say, even better than a live meetup in terms of organic ideas. Say you just came up with an idea when you were writing an article someplace. You can just share it on, your Workplace chat, and then you can tag it with a flair that this is an idea that I'm writing. This is not just some random conversation. This is an idea that I'm writing. And then, someone sees that, they go, oh, okay, fine, you want to collab with us on this, or you want some inputs on this? And I go, yeah, sure. And, we build the idea over there. So, something like Workplace would, work pretty well too.
Okay. This is a Facebook Workplace you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Facebook Workplace, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Bhumika, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so a combination of all of these will be good. So, like how we planned once a month or twice a month, once a month live meetup and regular email and newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
And as and when the idea comes up for, we can use a chat-based group or social media group.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, combination would be great.
Cool. So as I see it, there are multiple benefits, and that's why I wanted to know the format. One is it's about networking, it's about learning from each other, and it's about problem solving, just like Prahlad mentioned. And it's also a way to collaborate and grow on projects that could be, people could be looking for others. So not really a job portal, but something that could say that, okay, I am working on something that I need X type of person to write it, or I need a designer to design a banner for me. Do you know somebody? Something like that. I'm not going to go too much over that because those benefits are very perceived benefits. It's not something that we are promising. It's something that I feel would eventually come out when people, interact with each other in a community. But I think the what you guys said about the space makes a lot of sense. But I wanted to also make sure that we get people who are committed to some extent, and they're doing three things. Basically, they are listening, they are helping and supporting each other, and they are being real. I think if these are the three tenets, or the three tenets, or the rules that I would think that every member should have. And I think all of you guys here are embodying that in some way, because I feel that most content people, and I mentioned this again to Pranay some days back is that most content people are nice people. Content creators are nice people. And if you meet any one of them, this is the three things that you would realize that they embody. They listen, they help and support whenever they can, and they are real. They are not trying to be somebody they are not, because uh, that's the I mean, I think that's the most important part of content creation, is that when you are being real and communicating real ideas and real thoughts, it has to come from within. So, does this make sense to you guys?
Yes, Ruben.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So, there are basically again three things. One is getting involved, when you can, helping and supporting each other, and spreading the word. So, I'll tell you what the biggest challenge of running a community is, that as we so even if we do this, say, meetup once a month, it becomes uh, it becomes a bit challenging when you have to come up with new ideas and new thoughts and what to do next. So what I mean by getting involved is also helping us come up with new ideas and solutions, possibly even running one or two of these meetups yourself and doing maybe, I mean, like I said, content is very vast. So anything that you are good at. So it could be, talking about how to do something in a particular way, how to create certain content, certain type of content. It could be maybe connecting us with some people who may be able to do something for the meetup, or it could be even participating and coming for these meetups, because that is also important. We need people to come for these events, otherwise we will end up being presenting to a blank screen, and very few people would be listening to us. The good thing is that even though there are only, I think, 4 or 5 of us, uh, there were 3 or 4 people who actually wrote back to us saying that we cannot join this because of certain prior commitments. So that is encouraging, that at least people are looking at the messages we are saying and responding to that. Uh, Second is helping and supporting each other. I think that is the key and the core of the community, of the collective. And the third is spreading the word in your own way. So talking about it, or at least sharing some of the posts that we have on LinkedIn, or uh, getting us word of mouth publicity for other content creators, because they may join or they may not join, but they may definitely be looking for help in some way. So if you point them to a community like this, saying that, listen, if you are working on something and you're out of ideas, or you need certain support in certain way, we can, the collective can be a place where you can get, the help that you need. Okay. So these are the three things that I feel uh, any member should be able to do if they are part of this community. Okay. Now I know I already picked your brains a little bit, but I would like to hear from you in terms of what is it that you've understood so far, and if there's any clarification that you need in terms of what the see. This is a concept that I'm creating on the fly. It's not something that I have all the answers to. So I would like to hear from you on things that we can do to make this collective a little bit more uh, helpful and engaging for members. So guys, please unmute and speak if you have any thoughts or suggestions.
Ruben, so the initiative is pretty amazing for all content creators, come meet together and have their own, exchange of ideas. I would feel that we should obviously, like, try to get more people involved, because that is the way that we can go ahead with this, I feel. Yeah. Like, all of us talk to our friends, and we know a lot of people who want to, create different kinds of content, who want help with different things. So I feel that, you know, uh, first of all, promotion of the whole content collective is very important for us to create a sustaining uh, collective. That is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will expect you to send this out to at least 10 people after this call.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I think both Bhumika and I have done whatever we can in terms of planning some bit of the marketing. We haven't spent any money in terms of promoting it through advertising, but I don't think that is necessary. I think word of mouth is good enough for us to get to a certain critical mass. I was honestly not very sure if many people would join the first event because it's still unsure. Maybe when we do an event or we do a meetup that has a topic that is a little bit more in terms of a learning angle or a experience sharing angle is when I felt we would get more people.
Yeah,
So
understand.
yeah, so which is why I wanted to, the next meetup will probably be about, somebody coming in and talking about their experience or how to do certain things with respect to the content that they are good at. So, anything else from Akshita or?
No, I have no more doubts. No thoughts.
Okay, so I think then that brings us to the end of this session.